it okay if I ask a question and rephrase it? So we have a lot of independent filmmakers that are making in like new media categories, web series, Steam, trailers, shorts, features, docs, machinima, LGBT, digital comics. They will, when we ask for a press kit, they'll say, we have an internet star. They got 1 million hits on YouTube. So when I ask what is success for this particular audience, and we'll think on more a novice versus they're going to studio level, how do they pitch that so they're speaking the language to move up on the ladder to studio level without hurting themselves? Because when I talk to studio people, they say 1 million hits doesn't mean anything. You're not a star. We're grateful you got 1 million people, but how does that monetize, which equals success? So what do these new media filmmakers do with that information, these metrics that they're getting online that they think from their point of view is successful? How do they use it in a format to go to that next level with their career?
I'm sure there's an easy answer to that. I think going forward, 1 million hits is potentially meaningless. What is meaningful is actually capturing the other end of that is capturing a loyal fan base, and interactivity is key to that. I think going forward, there's going to be more opportunities to display statistics which go to interactivity, that go to actually communicating with people and having them interested and communicating back. It's not just hits. It's not Twitter. It's to some extent Facebook is like a step above that, because you can point to interactivity in posts. But I think that would be a much more interesting statistic in that form. Trying to get to that building the discussion.
Just like I completely agree with you in regard to the fact that it's not the hits, because anyone can have a YouTube video that has a lot of hits. The difference is the followers, as you're saying. It's the same thing as when George Lucas makes a movie, he can pull in an audience because people want to see what he's doing next. And for the studio to know that there's a certain amount of followers, it helps their mathematical equation of, if I bring this person in, how many people are they going to bring with them? And sure, I saw a great video of the dog catching a frisbee that someone posted. It had 2 million hits. That's not going to equate to box office. It will equate if that person made 30 videos, and when they put something up, immediately it gets those hits, because whatever they say is going to be followed, that is marketable. That is valuable to a studio. But being able to present that is something that I don't know the way of saying, well, I have 1 million followers, but then proving it each way other than through YouTube, where it says how many followers you have, or Facebook, and have those be active. A perfect example of someone who took followers and turned them into a massive power is George Takei. Just looking at his different social media outlets, he has become a media sensation where if he does say something, I was looking at, he said those people who know what less than 3 equals comment on this. And in 1 minute he had 3,000 comments. That was something that was proven, that here's somebody who's very marketable. And that helps you could easily go to a studio and say, hey, here's that potential, because people are obviously listening to what that person has to say, and they are a celebrity, and they are valuable in that sense. And I wish that for everybody. It's not happening.
You want to open up to the group and see if there's any questions, or if they want to comment. We get about 8 minutes. This guy right up front here, Coke.
Yeah, I've got a question about what platform you might follow, or what do you think is a good platform. We've got things like Coldcast and Blip TV and Daily Motion and Vimeo and YouTube, and when we're putting out content, sometimes you go for what player you like the best, but like you said, with YouTube, you're putting out a storied content, and how is that supposed to compete with, a cat chasing a string? It gets kind of lost in the shuffle. Are there certain sites that you like better for content or not?
Are you talking to me?
Anyone on the panel?
I mean, I think Vimeo is the slickest,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
and has a certain air of professionalism.
My one problem with Vimeo is their search engines. A lot of times it's YouTube, it pops up immediately, whereas Vimeo often it'll get lost in a shuffle because if you go to search for something, unless you lead them to a link, content will get lost.
Well, my biggest answer to that is it's either Vimeo or YouTube, because the others are not on various platforms. Meaning, you take Apple TV, where more and more people want to watch their content at home, or even Google TV. If you're not either an app on those devices, or you can lose some of your audience. Whoever has the biggest marketing of their overall media player matters. And Vimeo is building a lot of credibility, and obviously YouTube is pretty much the heart of what started a lot of online video. And like it or not, you got to go with whoever can get you the biggest audience.
I'd almost ask the question back, what is the challenge of being across all of the key platforms? Because it's only going to increase in that direction. There's going to be more and more, and the challenge is, it's going to be important to be on all of the key ones.
Well, I think as a filmmaker, you hear all the tales of exactly what you were saying. Let's get 1 million hits and see if we can. So if you get 1 million hits, maybe you'll get some notice, but that obviously isn't necessarily true. But so do you put everything on? You put all your cards in one basket and hope everyone goes to YouTube and concentrate all of your focus there to get your numbers up, or do you just spread it out to all the different sites and just try to get as many eyes on it as possible?
You also have to take into consideration that, most filmmakers that are actually doing this, they don't just do one project, they do multiple projects. And it's not, you're going for that one-hit wonder, you're going for a continual grind at the industry. And that's how even the small studios and individuals get a following base, get a viewership, and in turn, each project sells more, which then backlogs the other sales of the prior projects. And I hear you guys talking about everything back to studios, but this is indie film. The focus of this is indie film and new media in indie film, which YouTube, you look up Cute Kitty on YouTube, you get 150,000. You can't find the damn web series, Cute Kitty or whatever. And that's why they've lost such a market share. Vimeo and other things like that, yeah, they have their issues, but it's a better stable platform. But the same principle is in market share. There's 7 billion people on this planet. Indie film is growing at a faster rate than studio film. You're getting 1,000 projects to 1 produced every year. We get more viewers produced every year, and everybody's going to the web's platforms. The problem is that everybody keeps having to focus on how do we get it into a studio. You need to figure out how to get it into an indie film platform that will get you a continual grinding base.
No, I think you're right about that. And the interesting thing that I'm coming across is the fact that there's I think there's a transition going on between content that's 2 minutes and content that's 12 minutes, and getting people to watch something over a period of time, more than 5 minutes, and coming back to it. It's an interesting, how much attention span do we have for something? Are we willing to watch something longer in a story over many episodes? I don't know.
These guys do all kinds of.
But I want to interject for a moment, because there were a couple of other hands in the audience, and we only have about 3 minutes. I just want to, I applaud you guys for chiming in, but I do want to get some of those other hands that held up. So if we can address the questions to our panelists, that would be great. Thanks.
Susan's tough, guys.
I'm East Coast and I'm Italian. Sorry.
Actually, I'm not sorry. I'm East Coast and I'm Italian and I'm proud of it. Thank you.
Okay. Earlier you spoke of crowdfunding, and I was just wondering what delineates a good campaign and crowdfunding from a not so good campaign, and what's the best path if you're going crowdfunding? What do you need a good trailer or what?
So his question is, what is the best path for crowdfunding?
Well, the most important thing that I believe for crowdfunding is you have to engage your audience. You have to be respectful to your audience. There's a lot of campaigns. If you want to know how to create a campaign that will fail, create a campaign that's all about your trailer, that's all about your project, that's all about what you're doing, and then saying, well, I'd like people to jump on board with this, and then leave them alone. It really is about involving people and getting them to know that they are part of your project, that they are your support, that they are taking a role with it. The thing that I was trying to do with the Star Wolf rewards was that everything I gave them made them part of the project, made them the launch crew. Their T-shirts would be to promote the show and say, I was a part of something. In a way, it's almost that, it's not the best way, I guess it's not the best way of putting it, but it's almost like gambling. When people get addicted to gambling, it's an emotional connection, but they're gambling with you on your success. But what you're also doing is you're making sure that they know that they're a part of something. And that helps them to go out, and they're the best cheerleaders to bring more people in. We had more people when I just turned around and said, guys, we need you to go out there and sell for us and just help get this thing going because you want to see it, we want to see it, we're together. And you can't forget that emotional connection, even in your story. And yes, it does need to have a great trailer.
Thank you.
So I'd like to comment on what filmmakers are telling me about crowdsourcing and what's working for them. They're saying that Indiegogo, I'm telling you what, I'm just a messenger in the middle. Indiegogo allows you to either take whatever money is raised for a higher percentage or the full amount. And then Kickstarter, it's from my understanding, just the full amount. My suggestion to you is take the money and make the film, even if it's a third of what you needed. Make that an excellent story, excellent quality, it's total running time that meets its purpose, and you will get the money next time. But I'd like to bring something back because what most of you don't know is that Go Digital, of which Logan created, is an award-winning digital distribution company. We're 4 years new Media Film Festival. They've been pretty much with us since the beginning. And we together, first of all, I love everyone that works with them. It has been tumultuous. It has been ever-changing. What we've needed, how we've needed it. For me, because New Media Film Festival is all about, what's your story, what format are you shooting on, what platforms are you putting them on. My biggest goal is to make money on your film so you can make another one. We have monetized films that are 1 minute total running time. My biggest challenge is that the independent filmmakers have meltdowns. They don't know what a deliverable is, and they don't know how to deliver it. Case in point.
Susan has dealt with some crazy filmmakers.
I had a lovely Frenchman who is an exquisite filmmaker say to me he didn't want to submit anything to the festival, and I said, I love your work, what do you got this year? And he said, And I immediately CC'd him with the filmmaker, and I said, hey, what's up with that? The filmmaker never delivered his content. I have 10 emails that said I asked for it, his company asked for it, we can't sleep on your doorstep. See what I mean? So we're here to help you. Every single person on this panel came here today to help you. So they're sharing wisdom from their world, and hopefully you'll take what works for you and move forward. But honest to goodness, if we offer you opportunity, please don't take every other time in your life that you weren't afforded opportunity and sort of splat on us, because that's sort of what happens, right? Sorry, they do. I love my emails. I don't always have to respond to them.